Hey guys, it's your boy Nico, and this is Havana. We're severely exhausted. Been meaning to post something to you guys on any type of social media platform, whichever gets there first, because there's no really any internet out here in Bonita Lake, so I'm recording it offline. I'm okay. Havana's okay. If you guys are wondering what's around my neck, it's a cold rag that I just dipped into the lake before leaving. We're halfway through the trails here at Bonita, and usually they're about a 3-mile loop forward and back. I've taken this loop before as a Marine when I was first getting in the Marine Corps service, and let me just tell you guys, I am far beyond out of shape, not only due to my disabilities and everything else like that. If my 10-year-old German Shepherd is heaving and hawing the way she is, and for her to lay down at the lake, regardless if it's like 85 degrees outside, and yes, I am wearing my certified SIMP hoodie, because I'm not only trying to make a statement here. As a SIMP, and what a SIMP means to the masses is a man putting a woman up on a pedestal, and regardless on how he treats her, how she treats him, and she continuously kicks the dude down, but yet he's still there giving her money, like I've been founded to do in the past, regardless on how she's acting or how she's thinking, whether she's in a relationship or not. This certified SIMP hoodie is all about us men taking that word back, taking away the power from the meaning of that word simp, because it's very derogatory, and I can only imagine where that word started. And I'm not going to bring a certain community into this, community that specifically hates men, whether if they're married or not. It is like their low-key effort to beat down emotionally, energetically, even sometimes physically, beat down men, and shape us and view us in the realm of we are needy, codependent, we're not a king energy at all. What it means from female's perspective to us, it's a very derogatory and demeaning term, and yet I'm taking that word back. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but it clearly says simp on the back. I want to say about 3 millennial girls passed me by in this trail, in their skimpy tank tops and their short shorts, regardless on how hot it is outside, okay? Regardless, there's decency workout wear. Made no eye contact, no shape or view of me to put my eyes on them because I'm respectful. And also, whether if it's attention seeking or attention grabbing or just because it's hot outside, it's a very thin line between, the freedom of what women can wear and what men can wear. The very laws that determine such freedoms, right? And I'm not turning this video into that kind of debate whatsoever. I absolutely love women. I uplift women all the time. There's a bunch of women in the spiritual community that are surrounding me, and yes, we have our own personal point of view on things, but for a lot of those individuals who say that we live in a man's world, it's not true. The outlook of it looks like we live in a man's world. But I'm not going to get into politics or red versus blue or anything else like this. But to dwindle it back to the simp energy, just because you're an empath like me, just because you're somebody who shows up for other people, doesn't mean that you're automatically a simp. Doesn't automatically mean like you're a try-hard or somebody who is not valued or important or heard or even seen. Like, look at from other people's perspective on how these women are treating us men, okay? They're showing up, whether it's avatars or VR chat or showing up in real life person or showing up themselves on camera. A lot of them will show up in the masses' eyes indecent, or with their cleavage showing and everything else like that. That personally doesn't bother me. Like, I implore women to show up as they are and how they want to be. But that should also entail men to show up how they want to be. But you don't see us flailing our yin-yangs on camera, right? Because that's frowned upon. You get called all sorts of names and everything else like that. And this is not a fight. This is not an argument saying, oh, since women can do it, men can do it too. That's not what this argument is about. This argument, it's not even an argument. It's an awareness, okay? It's awareness to get guys back to the moral ground. Not a moral high ground, but a balanced moral ground between men and women, where we can coexist in a world to show up with peace, love, unity, and respect. But a lot of that doesn't show up in the gaming industry, or let alone the music industry. And I get that. I get that. And there's a lot of these e-girls or girl gamers that are just literally online trying to make a living, earn a paycheck. I get it. I get that. But at the same time, you ladies aren't asking us to invite us men that are show up as simp or gooners or, you know, simpletons, tryhards. You know, you guys get the drift, right? So how do you flip that paradigm? How do you flip that energy from showing up as a creepy guy or somebody who's trying hard to gain, you know, unreciprocated energy there? And what's so wrong about directness? What's so wrong about showing up with your own true, raw, and authentic emotions? Sure, not every single woman that I bump into personally, I'm going to fall in love with. But in their heads, in their minds, because they're closely associated with other women, like other gamer girls, so there's been this whole personal bandwagon that I feel like has been a personal vendetta being held against me just because I show up for somebody, donate towards their channel, not because I'm expecting something out of that transaction or out of that return, just a simple hello, like conversation. And if I don't speak after a while, it's because I'm catching on to the very fact, hey, I'm not paying for a service here. I'm paying because I like your content. I'm paying because I like the individual. I'm paying because I like the person's energy. That's first why people follow others, right? Secondly, because they resonate with that person on some sort of level, because unless it's just about the money, unless it's just about getting the paycheck, right? So technically it's not illegal because these platforms make it available where these individuals are skewing the program in such a way where it's not only making the company money, right? But it's feeding off of like energy vampires that are feeding on the helpless, the voiceless, and the individuals. And majority of those individuals are men, right? So a lot of us men, long story short, I'm not going to make this any longer. A lot of us men already know, whether if you're previously divorced or like have ex-girlfriends or toxic ex-girlfriends, whatever the case might be, there's always this kind of like stigma, this dogma, if you will, of a personal vendetta, as if like those individuals have to get even with you. Like me personally, and I'm speaking for myself when I say this, I wasn't showing up for these girls trying to get with them or trying to get anything out of them. All I want is freaking friendship. That's all I ever wanted. That's all I ever wanted is friendship. And I resonate most out with the opposite sex and the opposite genders, is because whenever I try to become friends with other guys, a lot of those guys are either F-boys or those guys are, I don't know, stuck up in a way. Like that word, that terminology, stuck up, could be a wide general definition. Take it with what it's worth and what it means. Here in the South, here in the Bible Belt here, just using that as an example, a lot of these guys are a bunch of drinkers. A bunch of these guys are college sports fanatics. A lot of these individuals are quote unquote godly men, if you will. Godly men, but yet they're abusing and mistrusting the community, and then they're going home and abusing their wives behind closed doors. Okay, and I'm not saying that's all men, okay? But there's that very stigma that's being floated around and not talked about, right? I'm not throwing accusations anywhere, but that's facts. But then there's the other flip paradigm of it, where women are also abusing men. But in societal standards, in the law's eyes, because men are biologically stronger, we're held accountable to the law to the full extent. But because beauty privilege is a thing, I'm sure I've heard that be talked about somewhere before. Just because you're beautiful versus ugly in the society's eyes, not just women but men included, people are seen to be discarded, avoided, delusional, disassociate from the truth that peace, love, unity, and respect is needed more than ever. More than ever. And society's falling short greatly. So I'm utilizing this certified simp hoodie and king energy because that word is being thrown around a lot when it comes to single bachelor men, even married men who show up for women in general. Just because they have beauty privilege automatically means all these other women are on board along with the alpha female. The one with the bigger following, the one with the bigger voice. And it sucks because it's like, I feel like I'm a one-man army, but I know that there's other men out there that are dealing with the same shit like I am. Being accused of being a creep, being accused of a simp, giving all these lovey-dovey feelings and it not being quote-unquote not reciprocated back, even though behind the scenes it is. Whole lot of fucking gaslighting, false accusations being held against me. And this is not the first time I've been in this position before. I'm a fucking Marine. And sometimes we forget where we fucking come from. And if you bite the hand that fucking feeds you, the band hammer is not going to just come down times 1, times 2, or times 3. It's going to come back at you 100-fold. And in relation to that, that's not a threat. That's a promise. That's universal law. The golden rule. Treat others the way you like to be treated. If you like being treated like you're a piece of shit, then you're going to be treated like a piece of shit. But if you treat others with love, kindness, and respect, you'll receive kindness, love, and respect in return. 100-fold. I promise you. The reason why I'm sweating and huffing and heaving the way that I am is because some idiot thought it'd be funny to unbolt a sign from a tree that's pointing right when it should be pointing left. And I should have known that from my land nav, that something was off. Like, it wasn't like an older path like you would see here. It's not like an older path like this, but it looked like brush and shit like that. So I should have known when a sign is pointing in the opposite direction of what it usually points in, that I should have known and looked at the trail and had it self-explanatory that I should have went the usual direction. But subconsciously, I read the sign and went in the opposite direction. Getting rerouted for about 40 to 45 minutes. What should have been a 1.5 mile walk turned into a damn near 4 miles. And my body is hurting. My body's aching. And what am I doing holding all this weight for? This energetic weight. I spoke to my mother, and I'm going to end it with this. I spoke to my mother a little bit earlier. Whether it comes to artistry, the music industry, or gaming industry, or any type of fucking organization that accepts money for services, it doesn't matter what kind of services, from gaming to OF to anything that's online, really, that accept donations, be wary of who you're giving your time, money, and energy to. Because especially if they have the word evil in their handle, they're not a good person. They're not a good person. I tried to help out. I thought at the moment period of time that it's like, oh crap, like this person is actually like super duper down to earth. 6 months later, not knowing that she was married. And then 9 months up until the 14th month mark. I want to say about a year and a half, like plus or minus a couple of months, that I've been tier 1ing. And then after the year mark, I decided to go tier 3 because I was like, shit, since I'm going to be donating all this time, money, and energy into this woman, why don't I up my tier? Why don't I give her more unconditional love and more support because you feel like she deserves it? You feel like because she's been giving you this attention all this time, and then it turns into her like low-key reciprocating that energy towards you without anyone else knowing, and this is where the gaslighting comes into effect. And then when things start to get uncomfortable or out of her control, she pulls her husband into it, and then flips a paradigm upon me, bans me, and then gaslights her entire community, because apparently that's the best way for an energetic vampire to keep control of her community, right? Is by lying to everyone. Because she knows exactly what she did or what she's doing. Not just to me, but I guarantee you there's other individuals who went, doesn't matter what tier level, that went years, like 3 years, 5 years even, and I only went about a year and a half, right? So it didn't happen as bad with me than it did with other guys, right? So it doesn't matter if you're a content creator, if you're a streamer, if you're somebody who says that they're doing something for the fandom, that they're doing it because they have a loving for a certain franchise, look deeper. Look past beyond all the badges. Look past beyond all the titles, all the labels, all the hype. I'm sure 21 Pilots sang that once upon a time. Don't believe the hype. And I believe the hype. I fell for the trap. Tier 3, maybe like 3 or 4 months went by after the year mark, because I was like tier 3 for about 3 or 4 months, right? No more than 4. And I guess her community was catching on to this simp energy, okay? Because it's automatically the guy's fault, right? It doesn't matter if the person's single or married, right? So even married people don't commit adultery. Physical adultery all the time, but emotional and spiritual adultery, that is. And just because me as a guy is showing up for a married woman doesn't mean that I want to be with her or lay down with her or any of that kind of stuff. But society deems it to be easier rather than think logically and then respond emotionally and be like, yep, this is the pattern. I've seen this guy around before. He's donated to all these other e-girls and all these women. And it's not because I want anything from any of them, okay? And this is probably going to be the last time that I ever talk about this too, because it's going to be clearly written out on my back as long as I own this hoodie. And if anyone else is looking towards, buying certified simp hoodie, please hit me up, okay? And the whole point of reason why I'm wearing the word simp on my back is because I'm sick and tired of being called one, let alone, and 2, it's not true, and 3, whoever you give your time and money and energy into, for example, if you're dating someone and you're really courting this person, you take them out to dinner, you pay the bill, you pay the piper, you do the dinner, movie, and gifts, the whole dance, right? And then towards the end of the night, she doesn't put out. Oh, that's okay. Is she entitled to put out just because a man is buying her dinner or bringing her out, taking her out? No, she is not entitled to give up her body to us men on the first date. However, and here's the flip side of it, if you lead a man on to make them think, even an inkling to think that he has a chance with you, and then you want to flip the paradigm and flip your decision making when you had them gaslit to understand, or misunderstand rather, that he had even the inkling of a chance with you, even on whether if it's first day, second day, or third day. You want to communicate clearly with your mouth, because I know how much you ladies like to use your mouths rather than using your words. Just want to say that, and it's true. Actions speak louder than words. And a lot of y'all take that literally. Anyways, words are important. Words are hard. Communication is even harder to let your individual or partner understand, like, hey, I really like you, you know, or I don't like you. Set that boundary, or set that clarification or clear intention to be like, hey, this is what I want, this is what I don't want. And none of that ever happened. Now, there's flirting. Flirting is fine, especially when you're single. You're allowed to flirt, especially when you're a single bachelor or bachelorette. You're allowed to go out and live your own freaking life. Like, why are we molding ourselves to someone else's guidelines, you know, within the context of the law, right? And respect in mind, while there's not a lot of respect at all going on around, whether you're male or female or trans, or whatever the case might be. Trust me. Trust me, don't trust me. I care for you guys either way. But hear me out when I say this one last and final thing. Do not, and I repeat, do not lead each other on just because you're expecting something from them. Okay? Communicate. Know where your intentions lie. And just because you find someone beautiful doesn't mean they're beautiful on the inside. That's all I got to say. Have a good one. My kings, take your energy back. Doesn't mean, like, don't go on dates anymore. It means just be wary of what these women are doing. Just be wary of it. Stay up. One love. It's your boy Nico. See you guys Wednesday through Friday, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, unless otherwise annotated. Like today, I got rerouted for another couple hours because someone thought it was hilarious to switch the signs around, especially during the hottest part of the year. That just because you're a warrior doesn't mean you're overall violent. The greatest warrior ever, Marcus Aurelius and Maximus in the general army of Rome, believed in the people more than he even believed in himself, and gave up his own life for the ultimate sacrifice and the freedom to a bunch of his people. So if that's where all this has to lead, for people to freaking understand that people's actions have consequences, and also not just the benefit of everything, but if you lead someone on, there are consequences to follow. And I believe in karma too, 100-fold. So treat others the way you want to be treated. Live by the golden rule. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys on the flip side. See ya.